Today, we will talk about In Agents of Apocalypse, which is Epidemic Disease in the Colonial Philippines by Candy Bevoise. First, let us know who is Candy Bevoise.
Candy Bevoise is a political science professor at University of Oregon located in Eugene, Oregon. He wrote Agents of Apocalypse, which used Philippines case study to explore the extent to which humans participate in creating their epidemics.
This book utilized the case of the late 19th century to demonstrate the rules and limitation of human agency in the propagations, containment, and very existence of epidemic disease. These diseases were not endemic to the Philippines, but introduced various factors: economic, political, social, and cultural. That's why medicine and social science are beginning to work together to understand health and disease. This book is organized into 7 chapters and divided into 2 parts. In the first section, it details the nature of epidemic crisis of disease in the Philippines during the late colonial period and utilizing classical epidemiological model which examining various factors and situations. While in the second section, he details the histories and causalities for specific diseases such as cholera, very, and malaria. The first section, which is the probability of contact, Bevoise seeks to explain how the Philippines, when an archipelago with a relatively low limit on the probability of contact with infections, to one of the most disease-ridden environments of the 19th century. Chapter 2, which is the susceptibility,
Bevoise demonstrates the individual, cultural, and communal factors of immunity to disease stem from issues of poverty, debilitation, and malnutrition, all of which contributed to greater susceptibility to individual and epidemic disease.
Chapter 3, which is the venereal disease evolution of a social problem. This chapter, Bevoise shifts to examine various diseases turn by turn.
For example of this is the increased number of prostitutes that accompanied the wartime years, and the American occupation greatly expanded the reach and severity of the crisis.
Chapter 4, which is the smallpox failure of the healthcare system. After the beginning of 1870s, the Spanish government launched vaccination programs to contain the growing threat of smallpox. New innovations in Europe and United States allowed the vaccines to effectively prevent smallpox in the children. However, the program of vaccination in the Philippines was sporadic and ineffective.
After the American occupation, the program was regularized and vaccination became mandatory, but some adult Filipino had already contracted smallpox.
In Chapter 5, which is the very fallout from cash grabbing. Here, Bevoise demonstrates that the new cash crop economy created by Spanish and American planners and investors lead to a change of diet and a reliance on important rice, which created a nutritional disasters for Filipinos.
Cash croppers were often eating little else than white rice, which lacks of thiamine and leads to the nutritional deficit, which often results to death.
Chapter 6, which is the malaria disequilibrium in the total environment. We see how cash cropping along with the new pueblo creation plans lead to deforestation in areas prone to mosquito infestation. Moreover, the wartime excesses destroyed housing and mobilized massive amounts of tropics into the jungle, both of which were factors in further infestation.
A disease which affects cattle killed off over 90% of livestock in the Philippines during 1880s and resulted in mosquitoes choosing humans for lack of a better blood supply.
In Chapter 7, which is the cholera, the island of the world of an epidemiological unit, Bevoise demonstrates that the giant increases in probability of infections, mass movements of people, and semi-ineffective treatment through quarantine, which coupled with a certain colonial arrogance created more deaths than any other factors during the period. The idea of the colonial policy, government missteps, and perhaps even factors of modernization lead to increased disease is by now becoming a much more plausive and well-accepted historical topic.
That's for today's video. Thank you for watching.